I guess, and it may be just because it's more fresh in my mind, but the Seven Habits for a Highly Effective Speakers by the Andrew Dolgan uh, was on this week's overview for this week. And I guess once again, it's either stuck with me because it's fresh in my mind, but I kind of think that it's kind of helping me more so because I'm looking at it as far as the overall 3 to 5 person speech that we have to give, by Sunday. I've looked at these habits, these 7 habits, and habit one is by being proactive. And some of the things that he said about being proactive is, take control of your speaking career, seek opportunities to practice and improve, study great speakers, and model what they do best. And as I've been going on through my Full Sail University experience here, and I'm sure continuing on, we've had to do a lot of TED Talk speech, YouTube videos, and watching our instructors once, twice a week, and everything like that. And you can really pick up a lot just from watching them and listening to them. So I really thought about that. I was like, being proactive. Is there any way that I can step up and give more speeches and everything like that? And just this past weekend, I had my Army Reserve drill. They asked for volunteers to do it's called a PMI. It's preventive maintenance for a weapons system, and that's what I'm going to be doing in November because one, I know about that, and two, I can kind of be more proactive by saying, you know what, let me go, let me get a chance at doing better. Because as I've stated before, by me wanting to go on to become an athletic director, I'm going to have to sit down and talk with people that I've never met before. There's going to be a hiring and firing process. I'm going to always want my school to get better wherever I'm at. So I think being proactive is very, very, very important habit to get into, and it needs to start with me right now. Habit two is begin with an end in mind, he says, and a couple of examples was, to become a better leader in the workplace or motivate your religious congregation. And it's kind of like what I spoke about earlier, where I'm at E6 in the Army right now, becoming a better leader, lead by example and stuff. And I know that it says that if you use your long-term speaking goals, if you have that end in mind, you know where you want to be, you can start by using short-term actions right now to get there. And again, hence why I volunteered to be the PMI instructor in 2 months. It also gives me plenty of time to prepare, which is, kind of going into the next thing, which is put first things first. To be a great speaker, you have to be prepared very well. You have to have your ducks in a row. I know we've all kind of heard that. And if we don't have our ducks in a row and we get up there and we're just kind of speaking and we're just randomly grabbing stuff out of the air, sometimes we're going to lose our audience. And that's something I don't want to do. Is I don't want to be up in front of a group and I'm talking and I'm just talking, using a lot of words, but there's no meaning behind the words and I'm sporadically all over the place. So if I can keep my first things first and keep it in a kind of a chronological order, so to speak, then I won't lose my audience and everyone comes out, which leads me to the fourth habit. Everyone's going to come out a winner, which the fourth habit is think win-win. If the audience that is sitting there with you, if they don't win, if they don't get anything out of your speech or what you're teaching, you're wasting their time and essentially you're wasting yours. The only thing you're getting out of it is you're getting practice, obviously. The more you speak, the more practice you're getting, and the better off you're going to be. But if your audience isn't getting anything out of it, you're wasting their time. And, in the United States of America, we have a very rushed lifestyle. No one wants to have their lives, wasted. So there's that habit. Your fifth habit is seek first to understand, then to be understood. With this, it's you have to know what you're talking about. You have to focus on what the audience needs to hear. That's what he stated in the article, is focus on what your audience needs to hear. So make sure that they are coming out of this from the speech and they're not scratching their head and it's looking like they have no clue what you're talking about. If you're a very educated person and you use these $5 words all the time, but you realize that your audience may not know what these $5 words mean, don't go into the speech and the conversation with using these big elaborate words. You may have to try to break it down a little bit so they don't have to go out and get a thesaurus and a dictionary to try to figure out what you mean. Habit 6 is synergy. And the synergy part I thought was kind of interesting because, in the article it even speaks about how, a lot of people that get up and they think whenever you're talking, you're the one in charge, everyone else is just there to listen to you. And, what Andrew Dulgan's saying here is that you shouldn't go into it looking at it like that. You should really look at it as you're helping me out, I'm helping you out, there's going to be situations where I'm going to be giving speeches and everything like that, and someone's going to ask that hard question, and I may not know the answer to it. But the hard questions, I don't want to steer clear from them and just kind of like backpedal away from them, because what that's going to do is that's going to help me get better for the next time that hard question gets asked. I'll have the answer ready for it. And of course, the seventh habit is sharpen the saw. And I know I've kind of heard the expression before as sharpening the tools, and it's the same thing. You focus on sharpening your mind, your body, and your soul, and as long as you can do that and always stay fresh going into every situation where you're going to be talking to somebody, I think you'll do great. So if I can just focus on those 7 habits, and a habit is what a habit is. You have to get habitual with it to make it a habit. So, and that's only going to start with me here now and moving forward. So, that's I hope that I did well with you all and I didn't lose you or